mean, this is a test, people, so forgive us if
You come in halfway through an
we're
episode.
yeah, it's incredible. It sounds like I never really do a lot of live stream stuff, so we're figuring it. But I think I'm just gonna end up buying a webcam and use my PC. It's the most safest bet. The iPad is pretty cool, but has still limitations. But anyways, coming back to where we're talking about the Xbox and the PlayStation 4 and how they're managing their strategies, marketing strategies, and I was saying that one of the things that I like the most with the Xbox so far is that I think they realize that they cannot compete with PlayStation, at least for now, on the same front where they have exclusives and they have, like it or not, they have this nostalgia feeling, almost like I feel like PlayStation slowly have become the Nintendo for the generation that grow with the PlayStation brand.
Yeah,
So, but they are making this ecosystem that I loved a lot. I don't know um, how great it is for the companies and developers that are putting the games, for example, in Game Pass. Like I don't know yet. I think it's they get paid of because like how much somebody plays, like for time, how much they play the
yeah.
game. But I think it's a reasonable strategy to counterattack PlayStation. I think PlayStation, at least in that regard, is behind the Xbox. I think.
I think I think we talked about this on one of our earlier podcasts when it was just an idea that they were toying with and it wasn't even fully there.
Netflix.
But I was like, yeah, I'm like, imagine if games were kind of like Netflix and you could just download them on demand and you just pay a
Mm-hmm.
monthly fee. And then if you don't want that game on your hard drive anymore, you delete it. Like, and
Yeah.
you just move on. And there's always new games for you to play. But as long as you have it on your hard drive, you can always play it as long as you keep paying
Yeah.
the the premium. And you know what? I think, in all honesty, you just look at past trends. Look at music. The way music used to be, you used to buy the
Yes.
CD, you used to have to buy the cassettes, the records. Now
Totally.
we have something as simple as Spotify, which allows me to have unlimited, you know,
Yeah.
music at my fingertips for what, $10 a month, and I have
Yeah.
all the songs that have ever been on here, and I never have to look back. I don't ever. I seriously haven't bought a CD in like 2 years because of Spotify. So, like, what does that say? But I have all this great music. I have all my playlists and stuff. Why hasn't that translated to games yet?
Well, I think it's because, at least from putting an example of Spotify, as amazing it is, the music industry has been struggling for years, and they really doesn't receive that much money. And I know that because I have friends that somehow they're related working on the music industry, and it's a great tool for somebody starting. No, like that's a fact. Um, but like for an established singer or writer
Artists,
or
yeah,
band, it hurts them because it's not the same revenue. There's basically pennies. And as we know, the biggest industry, the entertainment industry right now is video games. I don't think that the um, the
they're not.
developers are at that
Yeah,
point where like, oh yeah, I need all the pennies I can collect. Like it's pretty healthy right now, and I don't
yeah,
think
you're
they.
right. You're right.
And even though even that's the case, probably it surprised me still the amount of variety of games there on Game Pass right now. Like there are pretty good games in there. Like I start playing The Witcher 3, which is it's a great game so far, and it surprised me that I pay $15 a month and I can have it until it's in the catalog. And like I don't know, it was Wolfenstein 2 in there. Like there's a good selection of games. It's not like Gears and Halo and then bunch of crap.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely made sure that that was a healthy little roster, and they keep updating it every month and making sure
Yeah,
that you have something new to play. Even my buddy who seems to have every game enjoys the Game Pass.
yeah. To me, it makes sense. Like to me, in my case right now, where I have a family and there I don't have a limited amount of money, and even not I don't a big amount of people doesn't have that. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pay $60 every month, like for 3 or 4 games. That's a lot of money. So to me, it makes sense to pay just the $15 a month, and I know there's a library there if I want to play, and also because I honestly don't have as much time that I can focus playing a game. So I don't
Yeah.
want to go and pay $60 and then like I don't play it that much, or it's been sitting there for a while. Maybe when my kids grow and I have more free time, sure, I still would like to pay for the games. The same as movies. With movies, sure, I have all these streaming services, but it's still like my favorite movies. I pay the full price for having the Blu-ray or the physical media.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like it feels like it's gonna be interesting. Jump into the well, the main problem right now it's with the virus, and everybody is in shock, and it seems like it's gonna hurt the economy no matter what. No matter what we try to do.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna deal with that. Like I see this scenario where they can like postpone it to next year or something. But at the same time, they did so much that it's basically at this point is ready to launch. They're just waiting for the holidays. But I don't know what you feel about that.
You mean the
The
video game,
launching and maybe
the consoles?
postponing, or they're gonna actually launch, or
I think that they will still be on schedule to launch for this holiday season. I do think that that's the plan. My problem is, like, let's say this quarantine stuff just continues to keep happening. I think worst case scenario, the quarantine lasts, and I'm totally going like shoot for the moon, like as bad as it could get. Maybe lasts until like July, August.
mm-hmm.
If that's the case, that's nowhere near the holiday rush of going out around like November or October. I think they'll still come out at their same amount of time. I don't think that this impacts them in the same way as it impacts the film industry.
mm,
I think what it's going to do is if there are any games slated for the release of the PS5 and the Xbox
right.
Series X, that's what will get hurt. Because even my place,
Yeah,
game like Destiny, Bungie
Destiny.
basically let everybody let everybody go home. So they're not
Yes,
really developing anything new right now. They're just upkeeping the game and slowly drip feeding some content that they can do from home. But if you're a studio that's still making this full-fledged AAA game that you thought you had 8 more months to develop and get ready,
true.
you're you're SOL at this point. You're shit out of luck because it ain't gonna get done now.
Yeah, that's probably um that will be the case probably. Like I mean, is these there's so many variables um on this thing. It's not just like the console itself, like you said.
Yeah, I think the
And
consoles are fine. I think it's the games that are gonna suffer.
yeah, because let's say they deliver the console on time what they planning to, but then here we are with the problem for developers that they throw their games on the timeline and then people is not buying because there's a recession or something like that,
Yeah,
which is a possibility.
I mean that's already a possibility. It's already happening.
Well,
We're
yeah,
back to even a worse recession than we had back in 2008.
yeah,
This is this yeah, 2008 through 2011. Like it was terrible, and we're already back into one of those. I mean, I've never seen anything like it, but I mean, I think what people are investing in are those, for lack of a better word, it's the entertainment.
yeah.
They're investing into it because you're stuck at home.
At
You're
least
not
right now,
hoarding,
yeah.
you're not hoarding money to buy and keep your house. I mean, most people right now who are in, and I say that with a grain of salt because I know that there are people in the service industry that are really hurting, and then that's where this is really affecting them. But when you look at people who are in education or in other services that you can still do and still get paid for,
Right,
our money's being spent on like what is going to give us the longest, biggest bang for our buck,
totally.
and keep us occupied while we're home
Yeah, I
because there's
think
nothing else to
yeah,
do.
I think that's most people's cases. I mean, yeah, we're in a lucky position that I can do like something like this podcast. you know, like
Yeah.
I'm on the lucky side. Like I'm well aware of that, and yeah, you're right. Like we're gonna try to spend as much as our money and stuff that keep us entertained until like hopefully soon they release us.
Yeah, and I mean, we're doing as best we can. Anytime Caroline and I have to spend money We try to spend it locally at the local businesses that we usually
Right.
like, or the local food stores that we usually partake in. We tip well. It's just, when it comes to not frivolously spending money, but like, okay, we want to invest into something. We put a lot of our bigger ideas on a hold, like, redoing some bits of the house and
Right.
whatnot.
Right.
I'd rather invest in something that keeps us both occupied because we're going to be
Mm.
sitting here. The redoing the windows aren't going to do me any favors,
Yeah. Totally.
but investing into a game that's probably going to give her 100+ hours of playtime,
Sure. Sure.
that's 100 hours that I didn't have to occupy. She didn't have to occupy. It was just something to
Yeah.
do. I don't know.
Just
Right?
keep you um, entertaining. Think about. It's so easy to go down the rabbit hole and start thinking like, what could be the worst thing possible to happen right now?
Right.
And honestly, I'm not into for that. Like, yeah,
And neither
yeah,
am I. But say that's where I think that the game industry would be. I think that I agree with you that they're in a good spot. They're healthy right now. It's a high investment during this time. Uh, I think the consoles will still release. I think we're going to see an even worse lack of launch titles
yeah, for sure.
come game day. I think that most AAA's will suffer, or we're going to get piecemeal DLC after it's done.
Or just wait till next year.
You know, that's also true. And that brings me to my next point, which is, I mean, I know you just reinvested into a 360, not a 360, an Xbox
Xbox
One.
One X.
Yeah. Oh my God. Next,
Yeah,
like,
I
do
mean,
you think if
fairly.
the
It
new
was
one?
it was used. It wasn't a brand new, so there was
I mean,
a good price for it. But it still
right.
is more than what it cost the regular PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One S.
So my question to you is,
Mm-hmm.
when Series X comes out,
Yeah.
say there's, I mean, believe it or not, your used one will probably get a hell of a lot bigger of a trade in than my Xbox One,
Probably.
just baseline Xbox One that I bought back in
Right.
2014.
At this point, you should use it as a break to build something.
Yeah, you know
You know?
what? It was like
But
last summer. Caroline asked me, she goes, "Do we want to upgrade to the Xbox One X?" And I'm like,
like, no, probably
I
not.
heard some rumors that the next one's coming,
Yeah.
and like, I don't want to invest in a brand new Xbox just to 2 years later have to turn around and pay premium price again.
Right.
I mean, in Destiny, and I know this goes for everybody, but like, I wait like 30 seconds just in transitioning. If I push start to go into my menu, my Xbox takes forever to load up
Yeah.
that that screen. So I mean, I'm tempted when Series X launches to do the trade-in. I've never done a trade-in. I've usually always held on to my consoles,
Right.
but since Xbox One went backwards compatible with the 360 games,
Hmm.
I've never had a need to plug in my 360 ever again. It's just sitting
Right.
in my attic now. I think this would be the first console that I would
That you
even
would truly.
entertain the idea of like, okay, maybe I should turn this in for a higher trade-in value up front
Totally.
to upgrade and
To the
then
new.
get the new system. Yeah.
Especially because if you go now, I think now they keep the whole financial thing. So now you can go either online or Microsoft Store. And if
Hmm.
you get approved, there you go. You have the whole package. Yeah, no, I bought it because I really want to experience. Like, I have a 4K TV, and the only thing that I have, oh, okay, there you go. That was the why I did it. So I have the 4K TV, but besides streaming, I don't have any other 4K content. So I start buying 4K Blu-rays, and I didn't have a blue, obviously a 4K Blu-ray. you know, it's like here I am buying just like fucking things that
If
I
you buy
can't
a
play. Yeah,
mouse a cookie, if you give a mouse a cookie,
yeah, and
give
and that
Hugo
was the perfect
4K.
perfect match. Like I have a 4K. Well, if I have the X, I can play the games. Um, looking better, and they look better so far to me. And also they play better. The gameplay is more smoother, more frames. And then I have the
Yeah.
Blu-ray. It comes the 4K Blu-ray on it, and with the Dolby whatever, all this stuff that I've been looking for to watch my favorite movies as intended, not with crappy compression. I know a lot of people is hearing me is like, "What the fuck you're talking, dude?" But I can tell the difference.
Hey, as long as
And
you can tell the difference, that's fine.
yeah, and it was great. I like it. I don't think I'm gonna need the Series X until past maybe 2 years, because that's what happened all the time. You get a new console, and there are barely any games. I mean, of course, you're gonna have your Halos and your, you know, what's PlayStation big game right now? They're waiting for
Last of Us.
Last of Us 2. But there's always like this period of time that's is so slow. That's another thing that I like about it right now about Nintendo Switch is being constant throwing games. And if they don't have any big game, they have really awesome indies to play with.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it feels like it's not a lot, but it feels like it's a lot. Like they're throwing it smartly and constant and key moments. So that's something that I'm been like about Nintendo right now, the way that they're managing themselves.
Yeah, the only thing I really can't stand off Nintendo is the lack of uh
Sales.
not even, yeah, sales is a big one. The
Yeah.
fact, when you look back even on the Wii U days, like Mario Kart never went on sale in its entire lifespan. Like Zelda never goes on sale. I try to buy Breath of the Wild and it's just like it's still a full 60. So to me, I'm like, that's incredible that a game that's 3 years old can still be sold for a full $60.
I will
And
pay it again. No problem.
I know, it's on my list. It's
But
on my
no,
list of
but
things
I
to
get
do.
it. I get it. Yeah.
Right. So Nintendo does that right. My problem is its lack of online
Oh yeah.
like support. The fact that I cannot log on and use a mic, how you and I used to do, and
Right.
talk, play, and even if we do, it's through its built-in mic and it comes out all crappy. Like the fact that it's 2020 and it sounds like even worse than a 1998 dial-up service computer,
Yeah.
it astounds me that Nintendo would put that out there, that they're like, this is good enough. Like, this is what people want. They don't
Yeah.
want it for this. Like, I would love to play Pokemon and trash talk with you if it was a party chat and be like,
Totally.
my Venusaur's gonna kick your ass, instead of it coming through like like a broken Jack in a Box intercom. Like, that's not okay. And
Sorry, otherwise.
oh my god, I would try to play Smash with my brother, and it was just the
Yes.
worst. I ended up
Yeah.
quitting because it's just it can't handle it, and then it was like because there's no dedicated servers
No, I think
whatsoever
it
to
go
it.
through Microsoft, but obviously Microsoft is not gonna give him their best
The
for them. Yeah.
premium servers, they're like
Yeah.
you can have the old
Exactly.
360
Like we
servers, the
can
old
handle
Xbox.
your network, but it's not like our main interest.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's exactly what it is.
Yeah. I think. I mean, to be honest, I think the Switch is more like a single player kind of machine for most people. I think for most, there are some people that are genuinely happy using their phone and all the mess that you need to do to, talk to your friends online. But
Yeah.
it's so many stuff. Just I want to plug my headphones and that's it. I don't want to mess with things like these fucking podcasts. It took me all morning to figure out what to do, and even didn't work. We had to go another route. So, it's like one of those things. Like, I mean, at this point, doesn't surprise me. Nintendo do their Nintendo things, and if you want
They
to buy
are.
into it, great. If not, get the fuck out of here. Like, we don't want
Yeah, it's
money.
no skin off their back. Yeah, they're not looking for to win anybody over. It's either you're
Yeah,
gonna buy it or you're gonna buy it because you're not gonna find it anywhere else. It's not like PlayStation and Xbox, which
yeah,
share IPs. It's more of like they're trying to outdo each other by who has the best processing power, who has the best RAM, who has the best graphics, versus Nintendo, which is like we fully acknowledge that we come in last place, but do you have Mario?
right. Yeah,
Do you have Pikachu? That's what I thought. And then they go back, they just sit on that because they know Xbox and PlayStation will never be able to touch those ever.
yeah, no, and that's fucking brilliant. That's where the brilliance of them come to. Like, they could easily try to figure like, all right, let's jump in on the power race, but then like, no, leave those guys over there. I'm fine here. And that's great. I mean, I guess for me, it's like more, um, different approaches to video games, and that's great for everybody. Should have their option or a way to choose.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't need Halo all the time. And even then, this little thing is gonna get Doom Eternal. Yeah, sure, it's gonna look like mush, But the fact it's gonna run in that thing is like crazy. I think
Yeah.
The Witcher 3 is on that thing, and it's pretty
Yeah.
intensive. Like
I
again,
mean,
it looks like when you like meringue from cake that you mush it like around, but it run it.
I I mean, I remember thinking like because the Switch, one of its big touting points when it first came out, it was like play Skyrim.
Oh yeah,
That was
Skyrim.
like a 360 game, but it's like it's graphically overhauled, but it's still like
Yeah,
these games that you have. Its big selling point is to play these games that you love, but on the go. Like not even
yeah. No,
on the go reminds me of like on your phone, but this is like play real console games
right.
wherever, whenever you want. And it was I remember not fully understanding it till I had your Switch for an entire winter break,
Yeah,
and I played Zelda all the
we.
way on like a 3 hour car ride, and I was just going, and I'm like, this is
Great. Yeah,
this is so cool to be able to do.
we bash it at first. I'm the first one to jump in and say like, yeah, we were being assholes, but then we realized like, okay, I guess you need to hit your hands on it to realize the potential. Still, we think
Yeah.
that there are some flaws, like you say. That online thing, whatever, because there are rumors they're gonna be a pro, they have to nail it down. It's like, and granted, it's like you can pay $20 a whole year and then you have the service. But I would rather like charge me a tiny bit more and just have it, a great solid service.
Yeah, 100%. 100% just have it be solid. And I'll pay whatever it is yearly
Yeah,
or monthly and we'll just figure it out from there. My other thing about what made it difficult was that it launched after the half-assed effort of a Wii U,
yeah,
and the Wii U just wasn't it's prototype Switch is what it was. It was they hadn't quite figured it out, and I think that's what ruined the flavor of what the Switch really was in my head,
yeah,
because I didn't care for the Wii U. Like I liked the Wii, and when the Wii U came out, it was fine. I really enjoyed the gamepad, but nobody utilized it at all. And all games did was make it a glorified menu,
yeah.
and
But
that wasn't fun.
do you still do your Wii U? Do you still have it?
Yeah,
Save it because I feel like that thing is gonna become like sort of a cool thing later.
like not a lot of people had. Like I feel like that's the same thing like what happened with the GameCube.
Yeah,
It, a lot of people didn't care for it, and it lost that race 100%. Yet it's one of the most sought after pieces of
yeah,
hardware because of but then again that it was because there were so many good games on it
yeah. It's
that
just it wasn't. It never went big, like the other consoles.
yeah, so I don't know, like with the Wii U I felt like they just stopped making games for it because they realized, oh, we have the final version of the Switch, let's start really pouring all efforts into the
To
Switch.
that, yeah,
But I still see, and the Switch's thing isn't based on a gimmick of like it plays on the TV and on the screen. It's like no, you get either or, and you can slot it
right,
out. But the whole gimmick is it goes anywhere you can.
yeah,
It doesn't require anything or any major hardware. It will still have the same power. And I think that's what set it apart. And I think that's what they were starting to concoct with the Wii U, but
yeah,
couldn't because I can't go more than 12 feet from my TV with the stupid gamepad before it's like out
yeah,
of range, out of range.
yeah. I think you know, they they did. I think the technology wasn't quite there yet. It was start finally. Like I guess they realized, like, oh yeah, phones can run fairly intensive games. Let's do this. But then finally, the fact that they hook up with Nvidia and like let's work, kind of like the same way I think Microsoft was, like the chip that they have is exclusive to them. Like it's kind of like the same one as the PlayStation 5, but it was built with Microsoft involved in the process of building that chip.
Right.
Where PlayStation is gonna get their generic, I guess, one. you know, whatever that
Yeah.
means. But it's gonna be fun to see again, like all this, and then all the people like, yo, I have PlayStation tattoo in my skin and all that stuff. I don't care really, but
I really don't either.
I have my preferences so far. For me right now, Xbox makes sense in my situation, I think. So it's
Right,
fine.
right. The same with me. Xbox makes the most sense. I don't knock the fact that you enjoy PlayStation. I love the fact that there is.
I wish I can have some of their games for
Right, right.
like
That's the shitty part.
some of their exclusives are amazing, but I'm not dying for exclusive. Like I think I already passed that fear of missing out when I was younger. you know.
And you know what? It'd be different if instead of like the games being the deciding factor, having it everybody adopt the Nintendo mentality of like, hey, listen, it's futile to try to be the best,
Yeah.
processing and memory and graphics person. Like, let's just do what we do best. And I
Mhm.
think that if games just were out for all systems, there's no more
Yeah.
exclusivity. But like PlayStation was the best as far as graphics, but Xbox provided the most flexibility as far as like games on demand that you, as a more casual person, would
Yeah.
invest into. You'd be able to
Totally.
have at the expense of the graphical overhaul and all the technical stuff. Like that's the upper echelon stuff. But to me, that really it matters only to a certain degree. If I
Yeah.
can still get it to be 4K and I can still get this and that, boom, I'm just gonna keep investing in my Xbox because I can pay $15 a month and
Right.
just get Game Pass.
Indeed. Shouldn't be a shame. I think again, coming back to, I guess I feel it's so great that there are so many different options in the market. You can have your month to month bill. You can buy your own games. You can stick to Nintendo and just buy your awesome single player games. So many different spectrum right there, and that's
Yeah.
great. Everybody has their own option. So just to close the whole, console stuff, what's your guess of how much, like, what's gonna be the price for the consoles?
Oh, I don't want to think about it.
I can go
If I were
first.
if I remember correctly, the Xbox One, I don't think it was 450. I think it was a solid 500.
500, right, and the Play was 450.
Yeah.
Because I think right now, PlayStation is even waiting to Xbox supposedly to see what price they put on. I gonna think that both are gonna go for. Hmm. Yeah, I think either both go 500 or one of them are gonna go 550.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm
Yeah,
like, I think, unfortunately, I think Xbox is gonna be stupid and say 550, and I think PlayStation will undersell and go five and even 500. I think that's what they're gonna come out swinging with.
yeah,
I don't think it'll stay there for more than a year, and I think that they'll drop the prices.
yeah.
But I think for the people who want to go out there and grab it for that price, they're gonna grab it for that price, and that'll
Yeah,
be.
roll with it.
I don't If I could get $250 for that Xbox on a trade in, maybe, but I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere near that price. I think at most I'd get like 150.
100. I will
Yeah,
say
100,
100,
150.
but I don't want to pull from your dreams, But also the other interesting thing is, since the way Xbox seems to manage it, where it keeps saying we're gonna close this topic, but we keep the way that they're gonna kind of close this whole thing, it's sorry, the way they're managing the Xbox line, it seems like it's gonna be different kind of Xbox. Like you're gonna have your premium, kind of like your iPhone maxed out, but also we have your lower
Yeah.
spec, kind of like repackaging the Xbox One X, and that's your affordable one, which is not bad if that's the case, because I feel like the Xbox One X hits a lot of the marks that people are looking for games. You know?
I do too. I really do, and I think that was the difference because a lot of people weren't either impressed with just a normal Xbox
Yeah.
One.
I mean, there's some games that you kind of start noticing the Xbox One X and the baseline Xbox from this generation start stuttering a little bit. I mean, I don't know. You're the one that has it, so you have a better experience. But
I mean, I've never seen an Xbox One X in person working,
yeah,
so I'd have to go over to your place and download my profile and see a game that I play usually on it and let you know,
oh,
oh my god, this thing is like a different game, or if I'm like, no, this runs the exact same.
yeah,
That would be the real test. But I mean, what I play on Destiny, it's the same thing since it came out in 2017. Like
Right.
this 3-year-old game that is still running and chugging. It's just, I don't know whether it's my Xbox getting older or it's the fact that the game is so freaking big that
Yeah.
it's having problems keeping up. So,
Yeah. It makes sense. I mean, if freaking phones in 2 years, your phone you bought a new one in 2 years, starting all slow and all that crap, and then like, oh, the next update, and then it gets slower. Like, oh, my recommendation is you buy a new phone, and I'm like, fuck you.
yeah, I feel like that's the phone company just slowly poisoning us, and they're like,
Yeah, yeah.
"Oh
It's more
God,
in your face kind of thing.
yeah,
But
no." And then they just
it
push
is
out
what
an
it
update,
is.
kills your phone.
Yeah,
No, guess you should have bought a new phone.
yeah. I should buy a. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to censor myself a little bit. I don't want to get in trouble. Um. So I guess that's for today, and we can jump into recommendations. It's been a while. I
I didn't
almost
know if you
forget
wanted
about
to
that.
talk about the current state of
Oh,
uh,
right. We have a
film
couple
and
minutes. We can
and
do
the
that.
fact that what we've what we've had here is unprecedented, even in the entire industry of film. We've never hit this point where theaters have had to close
Close. Yeah.
on this level. I mean, even when we were in war, times of war, the movie theaters were booming because, again, that was one of the main sources of information
Entertainment.
before
Yeah.
TV. We've never had to shut them down on this level to the point where whole studios are pulling films. It's not even just that, movie studios are afraid to put films out there because they know uh, that they're not gonna do well, obviously, because nobody's going to the theater. It's to the
Totally.
point where they've stopped production 100%. Films that we're currently filming in other countries or halfway through production, like everything just got the big old pause button pushed.
Pretty much. A long time ago, I was starting about like in my film class. I remember we were talking about what will be the future of cinema. Because at that point, even streaming was a thing, but it wasn't as settled as how it is right
Yeah.
now. And I keep mention this, but I think it's just gonna become especially right now, how it's gonna hit them, and how I think now a lot of the producers and people that invest on movies are gonna realize like, oh shit, we should. What we've been thinking, we're being stubborn. We should release our movies just online. Forget about the theater release. We're gonna get so much money. An example. Um, my kid was so stoked about watching Onward because I remember he was like, "Oh man, I need to wait to the movies to go and watch that one specifically, and we already have plans how we're gonna do it and when we're gonna go." And then all these things happening, and now he just realized like, "Oh, it's on the TV. Like, why we need to go to the movie theater if we can be here at home?"
Which
And that's
movie
what
was it?
Onward, the new Pixar movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it was great. We watched it all as a family. It was $20. We have food and
So,
everything.
yeah.
So it's
And
coming to
and
that.
if
Just to close my point.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I think it's gonna be a niche movie theaters where they're gonna specify it on certain genres or kind of movies, or only the most like something like Marvel or something that caliber of investment and money. Like, sure, let's put on the movies, let's charge more, let's have this premium experience. Almost like you're gonna wipe all the movie theaters and just leave the kind of VIP ones or whatever, and then just the companies are gonna release online.
Yeah. No, because right now I know that one of the big ones that they're talking about, because Onward at least got some theater release time, didn't do too well
Right.
to make up and recoup for it. They just immediately released it on streaming. The big one that they're talking about is Universal Pictures being the one to, and WB being the ones to just push their movies out that they had
Yeah.
slated just straight to streaming right away. Like no theater, just straight to home. So Wonder Woman, 1980, what was it, 1989?
Yeah.
They're saying that could possibly just come straight to digital release. And if movies did that over this time, I have no doubt in my head that people wouldn't jump on, even if it was overpriced at like 30 to 35 bucks. When you think about a family of four going to see Wonder Woman,
Oh man,
four of you at 12 bucks a pop, and that's on average. You're looking at, 40, what, $48?
just for tickets.
Popcorn, yeah, just tickets, 48 bucks. And if you're paying 35 and your family of six, oh my God, like you have that ability to just completely undercut the market. But if you're a family of two, like Caroline and I, we're overpaying now. But that's okay because we're watching this movie that we wouldn't have been able to go see right from the comfort
Right.
of our own home.
But now you're paying 35. But now add how much you like to spend on. I hands down, even just going with Nicole, just for the food,
Yeah.
it's like what 30. And being a little bit conservative, 30.
Yeah.
So you ended up
Usually,
paying almost double, like $60 at least.
yeah. But when you pay the money for the concessions and whatnot, that's more for like the movie,
No, totally, I
the,
get
the
it.
cinemas keeping its lights on and such. That's not for like the industry. And right now they're not even concerned about any of that. But yeah, you're right. Like as a whole experience going to the theater, yeah, you're paying somewhere close to about 60 bucks for just two people to go for tickets and everything else that needs to
Right,
be there. I think 30 to 40 bucks for a
a
one
movie.
time stream, or like it would have to be like a 6 hour window that you could watch the movie, because they obviously can't let you watch it more than
Yeah,
once, because that ruins the
yeah,
the the total. Because if you could watch it one day, and if you really want to watch it the next day, you'll
totally.
pay 30 bucks again. You would have done it in the theater anyway. So I think having it be for a specific window of time, you watch it and then it's done,
Right.
because you want to be able to rewind a bit if something happens or a kid turns the TV off. You don't want it to just
Totally.
be on and you're like, that was a waste. um I think paying a one-time fee for certain movies would keep the industry alive and at least recuperating a lot of its money.
Yeah.
Or they could just wait.
Yeah,
But there's
because
there's no
I think
theaters.
a new movie, depending, I think at least on the streaming services, is like no more than $30. Like if you buy the movie, the actual movie, right?
Yeah.
So probably, yeah, they're gonna need to raise the price. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting how all these things fall in place.
Because there's no better time to test this theory out, because it's not like, you can have five families coming over to watch your movie because it's quarantine time.
Right.
You're getting about one family per household viewing your movie. It's the
Yeah.
best, what do you call it? Like
Like a focus test kind of
controlled,
thing.
yeah, like a controlled focus group. It's the
Yeah.
best way to test this situation, the simulation out, if it
Yeah.
is even viable, because you're never going to get a better representation of numbers than you are right now. People can't share their Netflix passwords. They can't share
Right.
that. People can share those. But like, say you were to buy these movies on demand and they were to make
Right.
these apps, the Warner Brothers Now app, where you download it on your thing and you can watch a movie
Yeah.
that's out in theaters now for 35 bucks. It's literally just your household watching that.
Yeah.
And to see how much money you could generate from that, you would just need to bet the farm on it. Because say it's Wonder Woman and you only make half of its projected budget, you're screwed.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. To me, I feel like that's not the case. To me, it's like, to me, doesn't the idea of not recouping the money, the investment money, if you release online, doesn't work for me. It's just
Yeah.
how many theaters you can have in a city.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just like, to me, it's just plain greediness. Like, oh no, it's like the whole exclusivity thing. No, you have to go to the movie to watch it first, and then if you want, because pretty much they recoup their money on the online release. Most of the
Yeah.
investment, it's just they want more, and that's a good way to have more. It's just like make it kind of exclusive. It's like, wait until come to the theater if you want to see it first. You play a little bit with the fear of missing out, and then it's like you're left behind because now you're gonna watch it online. which to me that's the case because I don't have time or sometimes too expensive to go watch movies at the theater. So like at this point, for me, it's like I don't care if I watch it 2 months after the theater.
Yeah.
Like I think the last one I went to watch in the movies was the Joker. I think. Yeah, that was the last.
Damn.
Like yeah, I tell you, I don't have so much movies supposedly that I need to watch. Like yeah. But I think this is gonna be a good experiment for them for especially for the investors because those are the one that always put the feet on the brake.
Yeah.
And I
Is it?
know why because they're gonna lose a lot of like what happened if like Spotify. Sure, there's the big music companies putting their music there, but also you as an independent artist or musician, you don't need really to go to a label record company anymore. You can just follow you basically you do the heavy lifting work and you put your music on Spotify and you're keeping most
All
of the money to
Yeah.
yourself.
No splitting it that way. Only splitting it with Spotify.
Exactly. But at least you're cutting a lot of people from the process and you don't need to that's the kind of thing that I'm pretty sure a lot of the investors in Hollywood is like, I don't want that. I want to have control of everything. you know because if that happened, imagine like I don't know, I can make a documentary by myself, and even you can kind of start doing it now, but they're not scared about the little people doing their work or projects. They're more concerned to those middle kind of companies. They're not quite Marvel, but all the indies in between, they still need all that marketing, heavy lifting.
Yeah.
But I don't know entirely what's gonna happen. Can go either way. I think this is a good wake up call for them to figure it out. What's the next step on this entertainment chain? Let's see what happened.
Yeah. Nobody knows yet, and we haven't even hit the worst of it. So
Exactly. Well,
I
I'm pretty sure a lot of. I'm talking like we have millions. We have them. It's just they don't. They don't. They're more introverts. They don't like to put messages on our stuff. But since a lot of the people, it's like probably wanting to know what kind of things to watch next because it's a lot
yeah.
of stuff. You want to start or you want me to start?
I'll start. I'll start. Okay, so as far as a game to recommend,
Yeah.
the only real new one that because all my infinite wisdom and time, the only one that really has stood out is we have gotten Pokemon Shield,
Mm-hmm.
and that one. I mean, I've watched it because sometimes I'll do my work and I watch Caroline play. It's everything it's everything I wanted a 3D full Pokemon adventure to be.
Yeah.
Where you can actually see the Pokemon trudging through the grass and it's not just random encounters and it's not just
Right.
8-bit anymore. But at the same time, like I was like, you have all the processing power in the world, and this just kind of looks like a more updated version of like the 3DS versions that are out.
Oh.
Like it's like an HD graphical overhaul. Like so I'm a little disappointed in that regard, but as far as like the stuff that they implemented and having a wild area where higher Pokemon spawn randomly, like the game took great strides forward and it's very different than any of the others. So if anybody was still on the fence of those, they're very different than
Yeah.
uh, previous iterations. So I can at least say that it doesn't feel like you're just playing the same game over. It does enough new things with it that you're like, oh, this feels good. But it's just like when you saw how much potential was just sitting like right there in their hands, and they just give you like, here's one
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
You're like, you had every opportunity to knock this out of the park, and you didn't. And so like it's still a good game. It's just it could have been better. But she did get Animal Crossing, but we haven't started that yet. So I mean, I'm really hopeful that that one turns out to be another good one. But as far as stuff to watch, if you have not started Tiger King
Tiger King.
on Netflix, oh my god, please do me a favor during this quarantine time. I mean, I'm sure most people
Yeah.
have. I mean, have you started it at all?
I'm not really attracted to it. I think they already did.
Neither am I. Neither am I.
No,
I'm not
no.
attracted to all that at all. Hugo, watching it was like watching like seven trains crash into each other and just marveling at the
Yeah.
spectacle of what was unfolding before you. Because when I watched the trailer for it, I'm like, what in the hell is this? I'm like, Caroline, I don't want to watch this. Like, this looks so dumb. I
Yeah.
don't. She started watching it with her friend. I was like making dinner and I'm just hearing it. And it got me to the point where I sat down and I watched
The whole yeah.
episodes. And I'm like, play the next one. And she's like, it's midnight. I'm like, play the next
This
one.
one, yeah.
It's really well done, but when you watch it, you're gonna be like, you know, the absurdity of what is it? We Live in the Shadows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like that, but instead of it being a satire, you're like,
It's
oh my God,
real
these are
life.
real people. This is a real person. What?
Yeah.
So to see this, like, I think you would actually enjoy it. I don't think it's one that you're gonna watch multiple times, but it's
Right,
enough
right.
to just. I I want to say the highlight is the music videos.
Yeah.
All the music videos that they put in between there that are real music videos that they, honest to God, thought was a great idea.
Yeah.
And you watch them, I scream. I scream every time because I can't believe what I'm like seeing and watching, and I want to cover my face because they're like, no, this is gold. This will get us millions of views. I mean, and it has,
Right.
but
I think it's the number one thing watch because I don't know if you notice now on Netflix they have it like
oh yeah, the
rank
trending,
the number 10 shows or whatever is what
yeah,
people's watch.
and it's
No,
so it's
I'm gonna watch it for sure. It's on my list already. It's just like I watched the trailer and I think I don't know if it was National Geographic or some other thing. They already did a documentary on that guy before, but I'm pretty sure this one is gonna be good. So I'm
it's
still
gonna be
gonna
great.
give it a try. It's
It's
just
that one. And then if you want a real recommendation from me for more trash TV, I would say Love is Blind on Netflix as well.
Love is
That's
Blind.
Love is Blind. So
Yeah.
again, these are the only two shows that I've watched pretty much in a year. I want everyone to know that. Like this
Right,
is
right.
why I'm recommending these things
Yeah,
because this is all I've seen.
yeah,
Um, it's such a cool concept that is so poorly executed, and the people that they have on the show are so. You're like, why? Why are you on this? So basically, 10 women, 10 men, all want to fall. They have problems falling in love, but basically, you live in these different houses, so the men don't get to see the women, women don't get to see the men, and
Oh,
every
I
day
think
you go
yeah.
into these pods and you try to speed date, but what you can't see the person. There's a wall
Right.
between everybody. You can only hear
Here.
them. So it's kind of like you spend like an hour with each person and you just talk. And if you
Right.
want to come back tomorrow and talk to, guy number three, you can. And then if you want to write somebody off, you can. The only way you get out of the pods and can see each other is if you propose.
Oh,
You have to propose to somebody and say, "Will you marry me?" And then they have to accept. If they accept, you two are now removed from the house and you get to see each other. At which point you have an option of saying, I do not like the way you look. Now, if both of you, once they reveal each other to, you can see each other, you can say, like, I still accept. And at that point, they will whisk you away to your pre honeymoon to Mexico. At which point, you can really explore the physical aspect of your relationship. Once the week in Mexico is done, you've got whatever time is left. So basically, from the start of the show, you've got 40 days to find somebody, match, propose, accept, spend a week in paradise, and then you basically have 2 weeks to come home, tell all your friends and family, and plan your wedding, and then go through with it. At which point, you have your last chance to back out of that
yeah.
engagement. But it has to be in front of like your friends and family now if you've gone that far down the rabbit hole. And Hugo, the whole entire show, I would love to know who you were like, this person right there. Like, I don't like that person. Or you're like, why is this person on the show? What?
Yeah.
I won't say anything yet at all until you watch it or until more of our viewers watch it. All I know is that it is complete and utter trash TV, and I cannot wait for seasons two and three.
Sometimes that's all what you need.
Yeah. But that's my
That's
recommendation.
funny. those are like really like from uh, opposite side of the spectrum. That's sounds so polarizing.
Yeah. What about you?
Uh, I think I had a little bit more time to watch things, obviously. But the really last show that I watched was Kingdom, that Korean
Yeah.
zombie time period kind of series, and it's just pure gold. The second season is the same thing, like the zombie. Well, I'm not gonna spoil that much, but if you're somebody that likes zombies but is bored with all the takes on zombie genre, this is so refreshing. It's on time period peace in Korea, the time of when they were the empire, kind of like the Japanese empire, and they're dealing with this zombie outbreak. And then in season two, really smartly, they give us sort of the answers we were looking for, and then there's the hookup for the third season that start getting kind of interesting. But it gets to a point like, all right, you guys are gonna find the solution to the problem, then what? So there was two route, like that's it, two seasons, and I will be happy. But the way that they end the second season, I think was really smart, and it leads to like more cool characters to show up and make a bigger drama than just the little sort of, I mean, I call it town, but it really was the empire, the Korean empire, to expand to more zones or areas. So it's kind of cool. It to me, it seems like a great, it's almost like a great RPG game. You have these characters. They have their own abilities, and they're fighting the bad guys. So, I mean, there's so much, and in between all that, there's a really cool drama, typical um, Korean drama thing in there with the characters. So it's a great mix of genres, really well executed with a solid cast and really enjoyable to me
Yeah.
at least. So that's one of the recommendations, and the other one it started this season 2 for Westworld finally.
Oh, season three for
Oh
what?
shoot, season 3, yeah. Thanks for the correction. Season 3, and I think it's gonna deliver more of what we're hoping for, and
So
expanding
so
on. So yeah, tell me.
so my anybody who's listening to the show for a while know that there are two people in my life right now where it's like Caroline likes to wait for multiple episodes to build up.
Right, right, right.
So we knew it came out last week, and I really wanted to watch it, and she was like, "Not yet. I need at least 2 episodes." So I am dying, and I haven't been able to learn everything. Other longtime listeners will know I always talk about Mondo, and Mondo seems to he watched it and he's just like it fulfilled
Mm,
every need that I had, and because I didn't know where it was going, and now it's like he said he watched it and he was like,
yeah,
it was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted it to be, and I didn't even know I wanted that. And to me, I'm like, how is that possible? Like, what do you mean? And so, like, my whole head has been spinning since last Sunday when, like, he and I last spoke.
yeah,
And I'm, what does that mean? What does that mean? Because he's really hard to impress. Like, Mondo really
yeah.
is hard. And so, for a show to get him to have that response in a third season, because
That's
I felt
great.
like season 2 was pretty, it was half
Yeah,
really cool, and half of it, I'm like, what are we doing?
it was.
Like we're just biding our time.
Yeah, they were pretty much setting up everything for this third season.
Right. So I mean, I guess that's my thing. Maybe it's not biding time. Maybe it has a bigger payoff
Just
now.
the pace went down, and it's typical of a lot of series in season 2 because when they're already like sort of planning this, like they're not shooting for. I mean, there are series that they're like, let's do the first season and let's see what happened. But for something like this ambitious, they're already thinking about at least 4 seasons since the get go. So
Yeah.
they set up stuff, and yeah, that's how I feel with the second season. It was good still, but it was more about setting up everything for what's coming. I think you're not gonna be disappointed. I wasn't disappointed.
Okay.
Still, the way it going, there's to me a possibility that we get to a point like, oh really, that was it. Like I can see that little possibility to happen, but I don't think so based on what
Right.
what we got from season 1 and 2. But yeah, that's the other one and the last one that I watch. The series on HBO2 is called The Outsider. I think it's based on a novel by what's his name? The author of It.
Oh, Stephen King.
Stephen King, yeah. And and a lot of Stephen King seems like books and series that are made so far. There's this childish kind of element. Not all of them, but a lot of them. But this one is more serious. It's more like, do you watch True Detective?
No, I still haven't.
What are you doing with your life, dude? No, no, I'm just joking. No, but you should watch it at some point. But it's kind of like that. There's these scary elements. It's like this entity that goes to a town, and there's like this detective vibe with scary elements, like ghost kind of thing going on, like a lot. It's almost like a thriller suspense kind of thing. Really well, shown. Like the cinematography is so great. The characters also not as Westworld caliber kind of thing, but enough to be a great mid series. Like a medium range series.
Yeah, because I've seen previews for it and it looked interesting. I guess I'm trying to think of where I saw previews, then it hit me. I did see all of his Dark Materials. I
didn't see it yet.
That one's good because that's more of Caroline's speed of things, and we kept previews for the Outsiders, and Caroline's like, "What is this?
Mm-hmm.
What is this?" So that definitely caught my attention. So
maybe it can take a few people off just because. I mean, the whole concept is a little bit weird, but what Stephen King series or books have total sense,
Yeah.
But I think overall it's great. It's great. Whoever jump in, especially if you like that, there's like suspense and thriller, you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, all right, man. That's it for this episode. Finally, 81, and we're dangerously close to 100. And at least for now, this is gonna be the format. Hopefully, the people that will be following us enjoy it, because so far this is the only option at the moment, and
this is all we have.
Better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much, and until the next one.
Yeah.
Adios.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited to get back into this, and I've missed it, and I've missed throwing stuff around and talking about all these things that I enjoy that I had to neglect for a full year. But I appreciate you hanging around for a year, and I appreciate all of our audience rejoining us.
Perfect. Hopefully there's a way to make Sydney join online too. That will be awesome.
Yeah, get the trio back.
Yeah, I just need to set up the computer. That's the problem. All right. Well, see you, man.
See ya. Bye, guys.